Hello, everyone out there. Thank you for joining me for an episode of Community Talk. I am your boy, Councilman Sloan J. Griffin III from Blythewood. We have a very important guest with us today, and this is my big bro here. We got a lot of history together in a short amount of time, but he definitely feels like family to me, and I know he'll become family to you. Um, we're not going to hesitate. We're going to jump right on into the show. Y'all have seen his signs around town. You have heard the talks about him. Hey, he's all over the place. He's helping children every day, helping everybody. Genuine good guy. We're going to be interviewing Mr. Derrek Pugh today, that is running for Richland County District 2, which represents my area that I represent, which is the town of Blythewood, all the way down the Broad River. But you know what? We're not going to hear any more about my yabber. We're going to jump right on to it. We got Mr. Derrek Pugh joining us here live today. Hey, brother, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you for having me, man. I just want to take time out to tell you I appreciate you for developing this platform to communicate with the community, and most importantly, I'm honored to be considered a friend of yours, man. You absolutely right. We have grown close in a short period of time, man, and it's been a pleasure of mine, man. Definitely.
Hey, same here, man. We both entered. We both come from that line of community service. Just on different spectrums. I come out the jumping off the fire truck end of it. And you out there with the boot strapped up at Youth Challenge, man.
Yes.
Getting those kids right, getting them put in place for success in life, man. And that's what's important. I spent a little bit of time out there at McCready, out there as the fire marshal, and man, I can tell you that's an amazing program. But you know what? I'm not even gonna spoil it because I want you to tell the viewers out there, man. And as we go through this question and answering session, I know dealing with COVID-19, there's a different way that for us, out here in the realm of trying to get information out there, campaigning and everything. So, we have to get these platforms up and running. So, what's been going on, man? That I got to check on you first. How are you and the family?
Wife's good, man. Family's great. We're just trying to make sure that we follow the CDC guidelines, and I'm thankful to have good friends like you that can keep me abreast of what's going on, so we won't get caught up in the back and forth, because it's a lot of misguided information out here. So just trying to maintain, man, and make sure we're doing what we need to do. And with this whole campaign thing, it's going I'm not viral, but it's gone virtual. So it's been kind of hard to touch the people, and fundraising has been different. And for it being my first campaign, running for any office, it's definitely been an experience, and I'm embracing it. What we're doing, we're assessing and we're recalibrating at every turn that we can, and we're doing that assessment on a day-to-day basis. When people call the campaign phone, my team has been awesome with making sure that I get those messages and return those calls immediately, because when the mailers hit and people want to hear your voice, and you're asking for their support, it's important that you're visible and you allow them to hear your voice and not just somebody that works for you. So that's where we at, man. That's pretty much how things have been going for the last 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, it's tough. Speaking with you and some other candidates out there in the field, it's tough, man. And we need good people in these slots, such as yourself. Moving forward, it's a different battleground right now. We're at war. The enemy is invisible, and we don't know. But we need good, God-fearing men and women, out there in the field. So you know what, we're gonna do some questions. We're gonna get these folks out here to get to know who Derrek is.
Absolutely.
I know Mr. Derrek, just even before planning commission. We both spent time on the planning commission, but I want these viewers out here to get to know you. So you know what? Let's not waste no time. Let's go jump into these questions. You ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You ready? All right, then. So, we started it off already. So, tell the viewers a little bit about yourself out there.
Absolutely, man. My name is Derrek Pugh. I'm a native of Dillon, South Carolina. I came to Columbia by way of Benedict College. I'm a graduate of Benedict College, and I also hold a master's degree from Webster University. In my previous career, I used to run after-school programs and summer camps of Richland County Parks and Rec that kind of spanned the whole county. So you had to have the opportunity to program for different demographics of people. And that's really, really important. One of the other things is now I am currently the deputy director at the South Carolina Youth Challenge Academy. That has been one of the most fulfilling jobs that I've had, to see those young people come in and just with life on their shoulders, and you're able to shoulder some of that burden for them, and they appreciate it, and being that listening ear for them. And that's been a joy for me. And my other role, which I'm very excited about, is I just took on the role as an adjunct professor at Benedict College. Man, listen, let me tell you, seeing those young people, man. So coming from my day-to-day job during the day from 8 to 5, and then hanging out with young adults in the evening and teaching them and trying to give them guidelines. I always tell them that I'm here to facilitate exposure and to help eliminate roadblocks. And I do that in my day-to-day job at Youth Challenge as well. But that is one of the most rewarding things for me as a alumni at Benedict College, is being able to go back and be able to spend time with these young people, help them with their resumes, give them recommendations, just give them a little guiding light. That is so refreshing for me. And so that's part of the reason why I'm here today. So in a nutshell, that's just a little bit about me. I'm a community guy. I've been working in the capacity with kids for over 20 years. And I found myself doing the community work before I even knew it was community work. When I talk about feeding programs, you talk about helping families with assistance and finding other avenues to help their life be much easier. Those are the things that I have done and been impactful in the community before I even knew that I was doing the community work. My mom used to tell me I was doing the Lord's work. So I'm doing the Lord's work, and that's the community work. So that's what I've been doing for some time. And that's just an overall nutshell of who I am and what I do. I am about the community.
Yeah. And so leading up to, community, you know what? Look at the screen. Look at what my next question is. You're in the race. You're in the race, baby. You out there, not only what you have done, what you're about to do. So we're going to speak it to existence. Ahead of this question, why are you running for office for District 2?
Well, what a lot of people don't know about me, Mr. Griffin, and I'm glad I'm giving you the exclusive.
All right, there you go.
A lot of people don't know that in the past 10 years, I've lived in every part of the district. So when I say I'm District 2, I am District 2. I still have friends and relatives that live over on the Broad River side. I've experienced living over there, and in 2016, I married my beautiful wife TK, and we decided to build a home in Blythewood. Not because we wanted to get away from Broad River or any of those other places out in Harbison. It was because Blythewood fit the criteria for what we were looking for. Again, I'm from Dillon, South Carolina, so I was looking for a rural area where I could ride four-wheelers and shoot guns and all that kind of stuff, because I'm a country boy at heart. And Blythewood fit those criteria that we was looking for, and lo and behold, we were still in the same district. So when I started seeing the problems that the constituents were dealing with on Broad River during my time of living over there, and still listening to some of my friends that still currently live over there. And for me to now move to Blythewood and be a part of this community and see the problems and issues that they're having over here, the old additive says, if you're going to complain about it, then do something about it. So this is my way of doing something about it. I just want to give the people another option. I'm not here to be negative. I'm not here to run a negative campaign. I'm not here to demean anybody. I am here to stay above the fray and give the people another opportunity. That's what democracy is about. Oh, yeah. It's about giving people an option and picking the best person that's for you. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I just want to give the people another option.
You know, that's one thing that I admire about you. And, you know, we talked about it, you know, when we both were, you know, thinking about, you know, taking that next step off the planning commission. And, you know, and we both sat there and said, you know what, it doesn't take a negative campaign to run and to get out there and actually help people. And that's what I picked up from you. And I know that's what you picked up from me at that time. And that's what really bridged our, you know, relationship as brothers there, moving forward. So, you know, my next question is, if you could change one thing about District 2, what would that be?
Wow, that's a great question. So we do understand that, like, District 2 is huge, and it's so many different demographics in District 2. And the one thing that I want to change and that I'm going to change is I want everybody to get the same attention. And it's possible, but you have to prioritize and you have to put personal feelings aside when you're offering yourself up for public service. So if there's one thing that I'm going to change is we're going to give equal opportunity to all parts of the district and serve everybody in District 2 and just not one-sided on District 2.
So, you know, so with District 2 being the huge, you know, area is blossoming, business is booming, you know, despite COVID-19, you know, business is still fairly booming for those areas. You know, do you see anything different that we need to change? And I'm just kind of caveating to that question a little bit as far as in the business realm of things.
Well, now with the COVID-19, and I don't even think we're halfway out of the woods with this, it's going to change the way people do business. And it's going to change the way we interact with each other in the community. And so as a public official, it's our job to make sure that we help support and undergird what is currently going on and how we can improve processes and how we can support businesses, small businesses, different avenues of our community, like the school system. What are we going to do for the school system when it comes to COVID-19? I have a lot of educator friends that have struggled during this time because most of their kids didn't have broadband, Wi-Fi, none of the above. I mean, I think the district did a wonderful job of trying to get buses to different locations that allow those services. But when you talk about being the second largest county in the state of South Carolina, that is unacceptable in 2020. And those are things that we need to work on as a county to make sure that we give our kids and give our business owners and give our community partners a better shot at having a wonderful business, or when you talk about students having a great education. And those things need to happen soon.
Yeah, and you know, that I'll tell you, those were challenging beginnings, you know, just speaking on that COVID-19 piece, you know, and I feel for the kids, you know, because the quality of the education is not there. You know,
Right.
We're still dealing with working parents and, you know, in some cases, grandparents having to keep the kids, but grandma got to work too. and
Right.
and that's tough, and I think, I think we get far ahead of ourselves in today's time by assuming that everybody has a phone. Yeah. Uh, those pieces there, putting buses out, that was great. That was innovative minds working, and controlling, turning some of the schools into internet zones. But you know what? You kind of segued into the next question there. And it's about decision making. So, how do you plan to involve residents in the decision making process once you're elected?
I think, as you can see, some of the candidates now or some of the current council members are now having town halls with other county officials and updating people about what's going on and where they are. I think those tools need to be used more often than none. I think it needs to be quarterly meetings with our constituents via Zoom, because this is the new wave now, via Zoom or any app that's gonna bring the masses together without all of us being in the same place. And so I think that those meetings that they're currently having now, they should be on a quarterly basis, and getting input from those people in the community. You have to put your feet on the street to figure out what's going on in the community, and not just hearsay or from those people that are in the political arena that understands community issues. It's a lot of people that's dealing with community issues, but they don't deal with politicians, politics, or none of the above, because one, they don't understand it, two, they don't trust it, and three, majority of the time they don't see whoever's representing them until it's election time. And that's highway robbery when you get a vote and then you disappear and the people don't see you again until it's time until it's time for re-election or to be elected. And that's not only on the county level, that's on the state level, that's on the federal level, that's on all levels. And the people need to hold these folks accountable by making sure that they don't just get a random common answer to a question that they have. It's okay to say I don't know, that I will find out, or I'll put somebody in touch with you to see if I can help. But you have to be willing to be able to listen to these people and understand and actually see how you can help them. Because something that may be minute to you may be the saving grace of somebody else. And until our public officials get that in their mind and understand that it's not about them, that it's about the people, we will not be productive. It's going to be a perpetuating cycle that continues to happen over and over and over again. And people are going to be mad with each other and upset with each other, bickering back and forth. And who is suffering? The constituents they are the ones that are suffering. And those are the ones that their vote counts in November, primaries, or whenever it's election time. And it's important for us to listen to those people. So to backpedal back to your question that you were asking, have those quarterly meetings. Go to these community functions, not just the ones that's in your neighborhood, but that's everywhere. And the sad part about it is that everybody that is in your community or that is your constituent, you might not agree with everything they say. They might not look like you. But when you signed up and you raised your hand and took that oath, you took an oath to represent those people. And it's important that you represent those people, regardless of what their politics is, regardless of what they look like. You took an oath to sit down and be an unbiased ear to those people and listen to their problems and make a conscious effort to help those people out.
Yeah, and you're so right about that, Derek. That's what really drove me into jumping into politics, is that the whole notion, I don't see them until it's election time. And I could timetable it to 30 days. I could safely say 30, 30 days, like when you start popping yard signs out, okay, is it election year?
Right.
Who is John Doe over here? Who is Jane Doe? I don't know. So I do, that's one thing that, talking with you as many times as I have, the reach out is there. Even for me to create something just as simple as community talk is what you're just saying right there, is to get an opportunity to the people. Let's talk about the issues. Let's sit at the round table. Let's figure this thing out.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to play partisan politics,
Right.
when lives are on the line, but that doesn't matter. It reminds me of me dealing with, the gate issues with my neighborhood, simple phone call and fixed 90% of it. We still got some issues with EMS, but I get weekly updates on what's going on, where they at to fix it. And it's my job as the councilman for the people is to let them know where we at. That's
Mm-hmm.
the other that is the follow through. So I'm with you, brother, on that. We're gonna get to question 5. So here we go. The big traffic talk around the Midlands.
Yes.
We could spend all day, but here you got some people in our community say that we have a traffic problem. What do you think? How would you mitigate those concerns or change the situation?
So, do we have a traffic problem? Absolutely, we do. We have a traffic problem because, for one, and this is just my opinion, I think we put the cart before the horse. And in order for you to have successful and sustainable growth, you have to have the infrastructure in order to handle the growth. Nobody's against growing, because you'll be an absolute nutcase if you thought that everything was going to stay the same. And I think a lot of people that I've talked to over the last couple of months, they're not against development, but they are for smart development. And in order to have smart development, you have to take in consideration. You have to take into consideration cars. You have to take in consideration school zones. You can't just slap 400 homes in this area, but you haven't done anything to fix the traffic issue. And so, just from my experience of doing my work for the town of Blythewood, it's a lot of decisions that are still hung up or in the air because of infrastructure. And it makes it really difficult for those people that are on those boards or that make decisions, because you're living it on a day-to-day basis. And so it's like, do I allow this to happen? Because I know Mr. Johnson or Mr. Smith just talked to me the other day about traffic and said, look, I don't have a problem with growth, but when are you going to widen the roads? Or when are you going to put the traffic circle there? Or when is this going to happen? Or when is that going to happen? And so it slows up the progress of growth. And then sometimes processes are circumvented, and you look up and it's a developer building 1,000 homes, and we still have the same infrastructure that we had in 1996 or 1995. And here it is 2020, and we're adding more homes, but we're not doing anything to help those people that are already currently there. And so when you see people talking, when they're upset about development, I don't per se think they're upset about actual people being able to buy homes or the economy, because that's an economic thing too. Because the more homes we have, the more taxes are being paid, the more money is funded to the schools, more money is funded to our emergency services, more money is funded to the police departments, and we'll be able to hire more police officers. It's a trickle down effect. Yeah. And when you don't understand the trickle down effect, and you're just thinking build, then you are setting the people up for failure, because nobody wants to take 5 hours to get home and you only driving 10 miles. You know, we have got to make sure that we have the infrastructure in place to be able to do what we need to do. And so how would we mitigate that? We would take a reassessment of exactly where we are. Of course, you can't stop projects that are in process. that are in the process of being completed now. But for future references, this is the direction that we need to go. We need to provide the infrastructure. We need to provide traffic studies. We need to make sure that we're doing the best thing for those people that live in that community.
And I'll tell you, when you said traffic studies, you remind me of our time together on the commission.
Yes.
What did we always ask for?
What
Traffic
was the traffic
study.
study?
So
Yeah.
what's the traffic study? What's this going to be like? Did the hotel beside them do a traffic study? Let me have a copy of it.
Yes.
So it's 2 and 2, and I know you guys just dealt with that. But talking about the traffic, the studies, the money behind it, really leads us into that next question is the penny tax program. We see signs of, we hear talks about the penny tax. Me and you both have paid money into it, and everybody else out here have paid money into the penny tax program, and it seems to be, we seen the reports. It ain't no seem to be. We seen the reports where it basically failed, to a certain extent. And it's back on us as taxpayers to really flip the bill, reset it. So my question is, I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say when elected.
Yes, sir.
What steps or steps would you take to put Richland County back on a firmer financial footing after the missing funds from the penny tax program?
That's a great question, Sloan. So it's steps to this. So you have people. There's nobody that's running for office right now that can say, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it as soon as I get in there. Because there's no way you can fix something that you don't even know how broken it is. So one, it needs to be an assessment of exactly where we are, be totally transparent with the taxpayers and let them know, hey, this is where we are, this is what we can complete, and this is what we can do. And give them a definite timeline on how this is going to happen, what's going to take place, and stick to the timeline. Because it's already a sense of distrust from the community members because of what's going on and the missing funds and all of that stuff. But in order for us to get a clear view of exactly where we are and what's going on, we need to know exactly where we are with the penny tax. I know maybe was it last week that council came out and said that they revised the budget. Mm-hmm. We need to be totally transparent about revising the budget. What was taken out, what was promised that's taken out of the budget, that you need to let the community members know exactly what's going on so you can put their mind at ease. Now, Councilman Griffin, let me back all the way up.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
My theory behind how this penny tax should have went, and this is merely my theory because I'm not intertwined and know exactly the breakdown of the budget and exactly everything that was going on with the penny tax. But it's because it was something new to us. Yeah. And it took time. It took several times for it to actually be passed. It's important. It was important at that time that we take small projects, complete those small projects, hold them up to the community and say, hey guys, here's what your penny tax is doing. This is what's going on with your penny tax, and this is the next project. This is not the first county or the first anywhere in the state to ever do penny tax. No. It's other states that have done penny tax that have done a tremendous job. I'm actually reading a book right now about the penny tax issue out in I think it's Arkansas, about how the penny tax changed their whole demographics of their whole city, of that particular whole city, with amphitheaters, bike paths, and all of that good stuff with the same type of penny tax that we have here in Richland County. And so it can't be done. It has to be done the right way, and we have to be transparent about what we do and how we operate.
Yeah. And, I know that the penny tax, that's a tough question for anybody, especially when we don't have complete access to the books on what's really going on. And truly, what was the ideal behind it? And I agree. taking on very small pieces of the project, and then saying, hey, we completed, Blackwood Road. We done. Take a look at it. Great. Thumbs
Hey,
up. You know,
turn your volume went down a little bit.
okay. All right. No problem. So we looking at it and, just small projects everywhere, and then taking those and holding them back to the community and saying, hey, we got you done, check off, move on to the next. And I agree. And I think that's going to be one of those difficult tasks ahead is how do you properly reset that program to where it's not a burden on the taxpayer.
I think what a lot of people don't understand that people just want to be heard, or they just want to know what's going on. Especially if it was a lot of turmoil surrounding the whole fact that we was trying to get the penny tax passed, and it's our duty to make people feel comfortable about a decision that was made. And so, like that small thing of taking one piece and showing people that something has been created out of their money puts people puts people mindset at ease, like, whew, okay, so they're actually doing something with this money, And so by not doing that, it's kind of sort of like, how many people have thrown up their hands and said, I knew that was gonna happen. Like, so for us to even once this runs out, it's gonna be difficult for whoever's sitting in the seats to convince the community again to allow that to happen. It's going to take a lot of convincing. So I mean, I think it needs to be a whole
Yeah.
lot.
And that's one thing that, we'll definitely follow up on you with, especially me, and the town folks here, that's a to be continued thing for us in the future. We're not going to fix traffic overnight, but that's one question that I, when I poll and got some questions in, is the traffic. So leading from traffic to penny tax, we're gonna give you a scenario. We're gonna give you some money to spend and see what you do with it. So if you received $1 million grant to use for the city in any way you want it, what would you do with it and why?
Infrastructure. Because once the infrastructure is set in place, we can develop and bring whatever we want to bring in without the constituents being upset. So the answer to that question, if I had $1 million to do whatever I wanted to do for our city, it would be infrastructure. Now, how far that $1 million will take us, I don't know. But I will use $1 million to help provide.
Yeah. So we'll definitely take that $1 million on some infrastructure. Look, if it's $1 a pothole, at least we got 1 million potholes filled, right?
Exactly.
So we're gonna jump from some infrastructure questions and we're gonna jump right into some community and some talk about crime. You notice how I got kind of soft. Crime happens all around us, and so question 8 here is, with recent upticks in crime in our communities, how do you plan to work with law enforcement officials to improve our quality of life and safety?
Absolutely. That's a great question. It's going to take a collaborative effort. Those that are elected have to support those that are in place. And so with that being said, we have to make sure that they have the resources. And when I say resources, I mean making sure they have functional cars, making sure that that they're getting paid competitive salaries, making sure that they have enough manpower to be able to man the different places that we are asking them to man. And that goes along with infrastructure as well, because if we're not giving public safety what they need to be able to work efficiently, then we're adding, and I'm just speaking hypothetically, we add 400 homes or 800 new residents to an area, which is going to take crime to an all-time high. And it's our job to make sure that, okay, we're developing neighborhoods. We need to make sure that we're developing our police department to be able to keep up with what's going on. And so, when you hear people talk about the delayed time of reaction. Manpower. You got to have the manpower to be able to do what you need to do, and to be able to do it in a manner in which people feel safe and they feel like you're there. So to answer the question is, we're giving our police department all the resources they need to be successful. And if we don't give them the resources that they need to be successful, they're not going to be successful, which in turn means the bad guys don't get away with stuff, and people are going to start moving. And again, that's the trickle down effect again.
So it kind of sounds like we need to kind of get back to some community policing.
Yes, sir.
Just from what I'm hearing from you. So that's a good deal. We can use that. So, we talked about crime just now, and we're dealing with the response of COVID-19. So if you were elected, if you were in office today dealing with COVID-19, how would you have responded?
Well, myself personally, I would not have waited for the media to tell me what direction we needed to go in. We should have been proactive to the point where we should have created our own COVID-19 task force to be able to respond in a quicker way to our community, because for a couple of weeks, I can really honestly say I spoke to a lot of residents that they were up in the air about whether this was true or whether this was a hoax or whether how it could affect them business-wise, the whole 9 yards. That's why everybody was caught off guard. And so creating a task force with people from that arena to make sure that we get quality information. So you would want somebody from the health department. You want somebody from our local hospitals that are on the ground, that have a better grasp of what's going on, better than our local news anchors. Reporting the news. And I'm not saying that that's where our current leadership got their information from, but it took us too long to react, and we should have reacted a little bit better, and we should have made a task force so that those professionals in that arena could answer those questions for us.
Yeah, and funny, you said that, and I had to laugh because, when that first went down, having a good relationship with the city of Columbia and some of their officials, we talked, and when I found out about them and their task force, to look in and to bring in some of the professionals to really talk about what's going on, that was smart. That was smart thinking. It forward, put you ahead of the curve, and gave you time to think. It gave you time to think, and it gave you time to put key programs in place. That was the key, because we want business to survive and put those programs in place to help them, to give them the inside knowledge, give them the education, because this is an education that we had to go through. And as yourself, even now, we have the Restore Blythewood Task Force, even formed up here to look at what the effects have been to the business. And where do we want to go tomorrow? What things do we need to put in place to move Blythewood and keep us moving in the trajectory that we're going? So Cool deal on that, man. You know where we at? We had some fun facts. We had some fun facts. My sound effect button wouldn't work, but we had some fun facts, man. So, fun moments. So tell us one interesting fun fact about yourself, man. Not that you read a book on the back porch every morning with coffee. Give us some good.
Struggling to get out the house in the morning. No, man. I do a lot of workshops and just when I travel around and meet a lot of interesting people, and so people always ask me where I'm from. And so if I'm in California, Arizona, wherever I'm at, I always tell them I'm from Dillon. I never say the state, and they like, Dillon, where is that at? And I say, you don't know where the metropolitan area of Dillon, South Carolina is? And I tell you what, man, I've not been in a room with conducting a workshop where people have said, where are you from? I said, Dillon. They said, where are you at? And I said, on the East Coast. It's right on the border of North Carolina and South Carolina. And I said, you know the place called South of the Border? And they was like, oh yeah, I know that place. Yep. I was like, oh, okay. So I used to work there when I was in high school. And they like, really? And so the workshops always go from, how cool was that? How many people did you meet? So that's a cool fact about me for everybody. I used to work in South of the Border.
There you go. With my buddy Richard Schaefer.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Yes, sir. There you go, Mr. Schaefer. That's my buddy there. Yeah, man. That's cool deal there. So we got a few more questions. Just one more here actually on the list. So tell us about we're gonna go from funny, but tell us about your most proud moment in life.
Man, my most proud moment in life, man. So I'm telling you, I go back, I'm from Dillon. So Dillon is known as the corridor of shame. So for me to come to college and have to play catch up to a lot of my college friends, me graduating from college and being able to come back to my alma mater and see people that look like me, students that act like me, and me being able to grab them around the collar and say, hey, come on, man, you don't need to do this. You need to do this right here. That's one of my most proudest moments, man, to be honest with you. Outside of me marrying my beautiful wife, that's a given. But, like, outside of that has to be one of the most proudest moments because at that time in my life, I could stop. I probably could have stopped doing everything else and went down as somebody that was doing something great from where I'm from. But my drive to be better and get more and help people and reach back and pull people up keeps me going every day.
Yeah. And that's cool. I definitely know Dillon. if I know Mr. Schaefer up there, shout out to my buddy Mr. Richard Schaefer.
I know that's right. Good people, man. He employed me for a lot of time. Even when I left, came back home for college in the summertime, I always had a job.
There you go. So we're at that magic moment. We have asked some difficult, tough questions. To see where you're at, and that's the whole ideal behind my exclusive interview with you is get you out there with the people. Getting some questions answered, letting them know who Derrek Pugh is and where Derrek Pugh stands. So, I'm going to be quiet. But before I do, because I want to turn it over and give you your final talk moment to talk to the constituents out here for District 2. But before I do that, turn it over, I want to tell everyone out there, thank you for watching the first episode of Community Talk. There'll be many more. My buddy Derrek, he will be back. I'm sure of that. And so many more people will be back. We'll do another interview on May the 25th with Mr. Jason Roberts that's running for Richland County Sheriff. We'll get to know him on the 24th at 8 p.m. So join us back on the same channel link. It has been my pleasure. I am Councilman Sloan J. Griffin III. I have to get that right. Thank you for watching Community Talk. Derrek, I'm turning my show over to you. Give your final words, my brother. Good seeing you. Tell Miss TK, hey, be safe out there and keep you straight. Tell Miss TK I said keep you straight.
She'll definitely do that.
All right, brother. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming on. The floor is yours, sir.
District 2. June 9th is your opportunity to make a change. If you look out your window at night or during the daytime and you like what you see, I'm not your candidate. But if you have concerns about transparency and visibility and making a change here in District 2, I'm asking for your support on June the 9th. I am here for the community. I am here to help move us forward. I want to see what Richland County looks like 10 to 20 years from now. And it's important that we start right now because we all have investments here. We all have a lot riding on the line here. Quality of life is riding on the line here. So on June the 9th, I'm asking for your support and your vote to help move us forward. Thank you for the opportunity. Those of you that are tuned in, thank you for listening. And feel free to reach out to us at info@derrekforsc.com. Thank you.